Alex was sitting on the porch, watching the stars with his daughter Emily. The night was serene, and the sky was incredibly clear. They had a habit of spending nights like this, talking about constellations and imagining distant worlds. "Look, Daddy, that star seems very bright tonight," Emily said, pointing to the sky. Alex smiled. "That's true, dear. Maybe it's a planet." Suddenly, the brightness of the star increased, transforming into a beam of light that quickly descended towards Earth. Alex barely had time to react as the light enveloped Emily, lifting her off the ground. Panic seized him as he tried to grab his daughter, but the light was intense and relentless. In the blink of an eye, Emily disappeared, leaving behind only a disturbing silence. Alex's heart raced. "Emily," he shouted, but there was no response. The night's darkness seemed denser now, the surrounding emptiness overwhelming. Desperate, Alex ran inside and grabbed the phone. He called the authorities, trying to explain what had happened, but his words sounded unbelievable even to himself. "My daughter was taken by a beam of light. I saw it with my own eyes." However, his pleas were met with skepticism. The authorities had no answers, and to them, it seemed like just another case of nighttime hysteria. Alex felt powerless, but was not willing to give up. He knew something extraordinary had happened and that he needed to act quickly. Determined to find Emily, Alex began obsessively researching similar phenomena. He spent sleepless nights exploring internet forums and analyzing UFO sightings. It was in one of these forums that he found a clue, a scientist, Dr. Lena Reyes, who had written about alien abductions and seemed to have a deep understanding of the subject. Without wasting time, Alex contacted Dr. Reyes. She was skeptical, but the passion and desperation in Alex's voice convinced her to help him. They arranged to meet at her laboratory. Dr. Reyes was a middle-aged woman with a serious expression and eyes that revealed both intelligence and fatigue. "If what you're saying is true, Alex, then we are dealing with something beyond our understanding," she said after hearing his story. "I need to find my daughter," Alex replied, the determination in his voice clear. "I'll do anything." Dr. Reyes nodded. "Very well. We need more information. The technology can help us track the origin of the beam of light." With Dr. Reyes's help, Alex began piecing together the puzzle. Using a combination of satellites and data analysis, they managed to trace the origin of the beam of light to a specific point in space. It was a distant, unknown planet, inaccessible with conventional technology. "How am I going to get there?" Alex asked, feeling despair creeping in. Dr. Reyes looked at him, a shadow of a plan forming in her mind. "There is a way, but it's risky. We need someone with courage and determination, and from what I see, you have plenty of that." In the following days, Alex and Dr. Reyes worked tirelessly. They developed a bold plan to use an experimental spacecraft that Dr. Reyes had been secretly developing. The spacecraft was small and fragile, but equipped with advanced technology capable of traversing great distances in space. Meanwhile, news of Emily's abduction began to spread, causing a mixture of panic and disbelief in the local community. The authorities, pressured by growing public concern, began to take the case more seriously, but were still skeptical about Alex's theory of aliens. Alex, on the other hand, was more determined than ever. "I'm going to bring Emily back," he promised himself as he prepared for the most dangerous journey of his life. With the spacecraft ready and the plan finalized, Alex knew there was no time to lose. He said goodbye to Dr. Reyes, who stayed on Earth to monitor his mission and provide technical support. "Good luck, Alex. And bring Emily back," she said with a grave expression. Alex nodded, feeling a wave of emotion wash over him. "I will," he replied, before boarding the spacecraft. As the spacecraft took off, leaving Earth behind, Alex felt a mixture of fear and hope. He was about to face the unknown, but the image of Emily and the need to save her were all he needed to keep going. Alex's small experimental spacecraft cut through space in silence, with the stars passing as bright blurs around him. The technology developed by Dr. Reyes was impressive, allowing him to travel quickly across the cosmos. However, fear and anxiety prevented Alex from resting. As he navigated, Alex reviewed the data and instructions provided by Dr. Reyes. She had included a detailed star map, highlighting the planet where Emily was possibly being held. There was also information on alien biology and advice on how to handle possible encounters. After several hours of travel, Alex finally spotted the planet. It was a mysterious orb, shrouded in mist, with a surface that seemed to pulse with bioluminescent light. The sight was both dazzling and intimidating. "It looks like I've arrived," Alex murmured to himself, adjusting the spacecraft's controls to begin the descent. The planet's atmosphere was dense, and the spacecraft shook as he penetrated the upper layers. Upon landing, Alex was greeted by a strange and hostile environment. The air was dense and cold, and bioluminescent vegetation covered the ground. He checked his equipment once more before stepping out of the spacecraft. His spacesuit was equipped with the necessary sensors and tools for exploration. Using a handheld scanner, Alex began searching for signs of human life. Dr. Reyes had adjusted the device to detect Emily's genetic signature, and he hoped it would make the search easier. As he advanced through the unfamiliar terrain, Alex faced his first adversities. The ground was treacherous, with hidden holes and plants that seemed to have a will of their own. He stumbled several times, but continued determinedly. Suddenly, the scanner beeped. Alex stopped and checked the data. There was a weak signal coming from a cave ahead. With a racing heart, he approached cautiously. Inside the cave, the darkness was almost total, but the walls glowed faintly, reflecting the external bioluminescence. Alex advanced slowly, listening to every sound around him. He knew any mistake could be fatal. Finally, he spotted a group of makeshift cells. Inside one of them, Emily was lying, apparently asleep. Relief flooded Alex, but he knew they were not out of danger yet. "Emily," he whispered, trying not to make too much noise. She stirred and opened her eyes, confused at first, but her face lit up when she saw her father. "Daddy," she exclaimed, running to the front of the cell. Alex quickly used a cutting device that Dr. Reyes had prepared to open the cell. "Let's get out of here," he said, taking Emily's hand. As they prepared to leave, Alex noticed other human figures in nearby cells. They looked weak and scared. His mind was torn. Should he try to save them all or focus only on Emily? Time was short, and Alex made a quick decision. Using the cutting device, he opened all the cells, allowing the prisoners to come out. "Follow me," he ordered. "We're all getting out together." The escape was tense, with Alex leading the group through the treacherous terrain. He used the scanner to avoid alien patrols and followed Dr. Reyes's directions to find the way back to the spacecraft. After several close encounters with local creatures, the group finally spotted Alex's spacecraft. Relief was palpable as everyone hurried inside. Alex quickly initiated the takeoff, leaving the mysterious planet behind. Back in space, Alex felt a wave of exhaustion but also renewed hope. He had Emily back and, against all odds, had rescued other humans too. However, he knew the journey was far from over. As the spacecraft moved through space, Alex began to take stock of the rescued prisoners. Some were in shock, while others were eager to help in any way they could. Communication among them was brief but essential. They all shared a common desire, to escape the aliens and return home. Dr. Reyes monitored everything from Earth, maintaining constant communication with Alex. "You're doing great, Alex," she said over the intercom. "But there are still many dangers ahead." Alex adjusted the spacecraft's controls while observing the coordinates provided by Dr. Reyes. The ship was heading towards an unknown planet that seemed to be a meeting point for the aliens. The planet's surface was dominated by a vast bioluminescent forest, where every tree and plant glowed with its own light. "We need to be very careful," Alex warned everyone on board. "This planet is hostile and unknown. We must stay together and alert." Upon landing, the spacecraft was enveloped in dense fog. Alex and the prisoners descended cautiously, observing every movement and sound around them. The ground was covered with luminous vegetation that emitted a strange glow under their feet. As they walked through the forest, Alex constantly consulted the handheld scanner, looking for signs of alien life. Suddenly, a bioluminescent sandstorm began to form, making visibility almost nil. The wind carried bright particles that stung the skin like small needles. "Everyone, get down and cover up," Alex shouted. Everyone crouched down, using their clothes and equipment to shield themselves from the storm. Alex knew these storms could be deadly, but they also offered an opportunity. The confusion could hide their presence from the aliens. When the storm finally passed, the group stood up, shaking the sand from their clothes. Alex checked the scanner again and saw a faint but clear signal. They were close to an alien structure that might contain clues on how to escape this planet. "There," Alex said, pointing in the direction of the signal. "Let's follow that path." As they advanced, they encountered predatory alien creatures lurking in the shadows. One, resembling a large insect, jumped towards the group, but Alex quickly used a shock device that Dr. Reyes had prepared, knocking the creature down before it could cause harm. "Keep moving, don't stop," Alex instructed. The group was exhausted and nervous, but Alex's words kept them focused. Finally, they reached a cave that seemed to be the origin of the signal. Alex entered first, checking if the path was safe. The cave walls were covered with bioluminescent moss, creating an environment of faint, greenish light. Inside the cave, they found a small alien base. Computers and unknown devices filled the space. Alex began searching for information on the terminals, while the others kept watch. "These data might tell us how to get out of here," Alex said as he hacked into the alien systems. With his computing knowledge, he managed to access important files, discovering a map that showed a safe route off the planet. Suddenly, an alarm sounded. The base's lights started flashing, and Alex realized they had been detected. "We have to get out of here, now," he shouted, transferring the data to a portable device. The group ran out of the cave, but was immediately surrounded by alien patrols. "We're trapped," said one of the prisoners, desperate. Alex, however, was not willing to give up. Using the map's information, he found a hidden passage leading to an underground tunnel. The tunnel was narrow and dark but offered the only chance of escape. They walked for hours in the tunnel, facing obstacles like collapses and narrow passages. Alex's determination and mutual support kept the group moving. Finally, they emerged from the tunnel, finding themselves near the spacecraft. Without wasting time, Alex and the prisoners boarded the spacecraft and took off, leaving the hostile planet behind. As the spacecraft moved away, Alex felt a momentary relief but knew there was still much to be done to ensure everyone's safety. The spacecraft hovered in space, far from the hostile planet they had just left. As stars passed quickly through the cabin window, Alex reviewed the data he had extracted from the alien base. The map showed a specific location where Emily was likely being held captive. "We're almost there," Alex said, trying to keep calm in his voice. Emily was near, but so were the dangers the aliens represented. The spacecraft began its descent towards the new destination. This time, it was an alien facility on a planet covered by thick, bioluminescent vegetation. The bright colors contrasted with the darkness of space, creating an atmosphere both beautiful and threatening. Upon landing, Alex and the prisoners descended carefully. He used the handheld scanner to search for any human life signs. Emily's signal was weak but present. Alex led the group through the vegetation, trying to make as little noise as possible. "Stay close to me and be quiet," Alex instructed. The tension was palpable as they advanced. The sound of alien insects and rustling leaves surrounded them, heightening the sense of imminent danger. Finally, they reached an alien structure that looked like a prison. The walls were made of a translucent material that glowed softly. Alex approached cautiously and used the cutting device Dr. Reyes had provided to make a breach in the wall. Inside the prison, Alex found several cells. He ran from cell to cell, desperately looking for Emily. When he finally found her, she was lying on a rudimentary bed, visibly weakened but alive. "Emily," Alex whispered, trying not to make noise. Emily slowly opened her eyes, and when she saw her father, her eyes lit up. "Daddy," she exclaimed, getting up and running into Alex's arms. He held her tightly, feeling a wave of relief and emotion. "Let's get out of here," Alex said, using the cutting device to open the cell. Emily was weak but determined to leave. As they prepared to leave, Alex noticed other human figures in nearby cells. His heart tightened at seeing the scared and desperate faces of the prisoners. He knew he couldn't leave these people behind. "We're getting everyone out of here," Alex said to Emily. She nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. Alex used the cutting device to open all the cells, allowing the prisoners to come out. "Follow me and stay together," he ordered. The group was scared, but Alex's determination gave them hope. The escape was tense, with Alex leading the group through the thick vegetation. They avoided alien patrols and used the map's information to find the safest path. Alex was constantly alert, ready to react to any threat. After several hours of walking, the group finally spotted Alex's spacecraft. Relief was palpable as everyone hurried inside. Alex checked to ensure everyone was aboard before initiating the takeoff. Back in space, Alex felt a wave of exhaustion but also renewed hope. He had Emily back and, against all odds, had rescued other humans too. However, he knew the journey was far from over. With the spacecraft safe in space, Alex allowed himself a moment of relief as the prisoners settled in. Emily was by his side, holding his hand tightly. He looked at her face, marked by the experience but still full of hope. "We're almost home, Emily," he said softly. "Just a little longer." Alex knew he needed to review the data he had collected from the alien base. He headed to the command area, where some of the more experienced prisoners were gathered, discussing the next step. Among them was Mark, an engineer who had been abducted months earlier and was now helping Alex interpret the data. "These coordinates," Mark said, pointing to a spot on the star map, "indicate an alien meeting point. It might be our best chance to intercept one of their ships and secure our escape." Alex nodded. "We need to be quick and careful. They already know we're here and won't hesitate to attack us." Meanwhile, a sense of distrust began to form among the prisoners. A man named Carl, who had been cooperative until then, started acting strangely, avoiding eye contact and whispering with other prisoners. Emily, always observant, pulled Alex aside. "Daddy, something's wrong with that man," she said, discreetly pointing to Carl. Alerted by Emily's concern, Alex began watching Carl more closely. It was then that he noticed Carl was trying to access the spacecraft's controls stealthily. Alex confronted him. "Carl, what are you doing?" Alex asked, his voice firm. Carl hesitated for a moment before pulling out an improvised weapon. "I can't let you return. The aliens promised to spare me if I made sure you didn't escape." Silence fell over the spacecraft as everyone looked, shocked. "You betrayed us?" Mark asked, incredulous. "I had no choice," Carl replied, his voice trembling. "They threatened me, said they would kill me if I didn't cooperate." Alex advanced slowly. "Carl, lower the weapon. We can resolve this together, but we need to trust each other." Carl seemed to waver, but before he could make a decision, the spacecraft shook violently. Alarms blared and lights flashed as Alex ran to the controls. "We're under attack." Alien patrols had located the spacecraft and were launching an offensive. Alex needed to act quickly. "Everyone to your positions. We need to defend the ship." As the battle unfolded, Alex and Mark worked together to repel the attacks. Carl, still holding the weapon, was disarmed by one of the stronger prisoners and placed under guard. The spacecraft shook under the impact of alien fire, but Alex managed to keep calm and coordinate the defense. Using Mark's technical skills and the prisoners' courage, they created a series of counterattacks that finally forced the aliens to retreat. When the last of the aggressors was driven off, Alex and the others breathed a sigh of relief. "We're safe, for now," he said, still cautious. "But we need to get out of here before they return with reinforcements." With Carl under custody, the group began to devise a new plan. Mark suggested using one of the captured alien ships to deceive the enemy and allow a safe escape. Alex agreed, knowing it was their best chance. As they prepared the alien ship, Alex took a moment to talk to Emily. "You were very brave, Emily. And very observant. You saved us." Emily smiled shyly. "I just want to go home with you, Daddy." "We will," Alex promised, hugging her tightly. Finally, the alien ship was ready. The group, now led by Alex and Mark, boarded the ship, leaving Carl under the watch of the most trustworthy prisoners. Using the codes they had stolen from the alien base, they managed to temporarily deactivate the planet's defense systems. "We're going home," Alex said as the ship took off, disguised as one of the enemy patrols. The journey was tense, but the strategy worked. They managed to pass through the alien defenses undetected. As they moved away from the planet, Alex looked at Emily and the other prisoners. They had faced danger together and, despite the betrayals, had triumphed. "We're almost there," Alex said, feeling a wave of relief and hope. Almost home. The disguised alien ship sped through space, piloted by Alex and Mark, while the other prisoners watched nervously. The tension in the cabin was palpable, each person aware they were on the brink of a decisive confrontation. The plan to deceive the aliens had worked so far, but they knew the real challenge was still ahead. "We're approaching Zorther's fortress," Mark said, pointing to the navigation screen. "We need to be prepared for anything." Alex nodded. "Everyone, stay alert. We're going to enter the base and try to find a way to deactivate the defense systems." As they approached the fortress, the ship was greeted by an energy field surrounding the structure. Alex maneuvered carefully, using the alien codes to gain access. The ship landed smoothly inside the fortress hangar, surrounded by enemy ships. "We're in," Alex murmured. "Now comes the hard part." They disembarked from the ship and infiltrated the base, using alien uniforms to blend in. The interior of the fortress was vast and illuminated by a cold, artificial light. Alex led the group, with Emily by his side, while Mark and the other prisoners formed the rear guard. Suddenly, they were confronted by Zorther and his forces. The alien commander was imposing, with piercing eyes and an expression of disdain. "Did you really think you could escape from me?" His voice echoed through the room. Alex stepped forward, trying to remain calm. "Let us go, Zorther. We don't want to fight." Zorther laughed coldly. "You have no choice. You are a threat that must be eliminated." Before Alex could respond, Zorther gave the order to attack. The room turned into a battlefield, with energy shots crossing the air. Alex and the prisoners defended themselves as best they could, using the weapons they had managed to obtain. Alex faced Zorther directly, using his intelligence and agility to dodge the aliens' powerful attacks. "You underestimate the strength of a father who wants to protect his daughter," Alex said, determined. The fight was intense. Zorther was a formidable opponent, but Alex managed to find a gap in the alien's defense. With a precise blow, he disarmed Zorther, knocking him to the ground. "This is the end, Zorther," Alex said, panting. Zorther, however, was not willing to give up. With a last effort, he activated a self-destruct mechanism in the fortress. "If I can't defeat you, then we will all perish together." Alex ran to the control terminal, trying to deactivate the mechanism. "Mark, help me here." Mark joined Alex, working feverishly to stop the self-destruction. The countdown was advancing quickly, but with a final effort, they managed to deactivate it at the last second. Silence fell over the fortress. Zorther was defeated, and the defense systems were deactivated. Alex and the prisoners looked around, absorbing the moment. "We did it," Emily said, hugging her father. Alex smiled, feeling a wave of relief. "Yes, we did." With Zorther defeated, and the systems deactivated, the group returned to the ship. Alex set the course back to Earth, feeling they were finally safe. As the ship left the fortress, Alex looked at Emily. "Let's go home, dear." As the ship accelerated towards Earth, the atmosphere inside the cabin was one of relief mixed with exhaustion. Alex held Emily's hand, feeling a sense of peace he hadn't felt in days. The battle with Zorther was over, but the journey was not yet complete. "We're on our way home," Alex said to everyone on board, his voice full of hope. "Just hold on a little longer." Dr. Reyes, monitoring everything from Earth, finally managed to establish communication with the ship. "Alex, can you hear me?" "Yes, we're fine," Alex replied. "Zorther has been defeated, and we managed to deactivate the defense systems. We're coming back." Dr. Reyes's voice showed relief. "Wonderful. We're preparing a rescue team to receive you. We need to ensure everyone is safe when you land." The ship entered the Earth's atmosphere, and the prisoners looked out the window, watching the familiar blue planet approach. Many of them had not seen Earth in months, and tears of emotion began to stream down some faces. The landing was smooth, and the ship touched down at an isolated military base, where a rescue team was already waiting. As the ship's ramp opened, Alex and the others descended, greeted by applause and warm hugs. Emily ran into Alex's arms, holding him tightly. "We made it, Daddy." "Yes, we did," Alex replied, feeling tears of relief and happiness run down his face. Dr. Reyes approached, hugging Alex and Emily. "You were incredible. I have no words to describe how proud I am of you." As the rescue team took care of the prisoners, Alex and Emily were taken to a safe area where they could rest and recover. Mark and the other prisoners were also attended to, receiving the necessary medical care. In the following days, Alex and Emily underwent a series of medical and psychological examinations. Although they were tired and marked by the experience, the joy of being back on Earth outweighed any other feeling. "You were a true hero, Alex," Dr. Reyes said during a debriefing meeting. "Your effort and determination saved many lives." Alex smiled modestly. "I just did what needed to be done. All to bring my daughter back." The news of the rescue spread quickly, and Alex was welcomed as a hero. He was invited to give interviews and share his story, but he preferred to keep a low profile, focusing on recovery and Emily's well-being. "I just want to spend time with my daughter," Alex said to a reporter. "All that matters now is that we're together and safe." With time, Alex and Emily's life began to return to normal. They moved to a new house, away from the place where everything had begun, seeking a fresh start. Alex continued working in his field of expertise, but now with a new perspective on life and priorities. Emily returned to school, and despite the difficult memories, she showed resilience and strength. The experience had changed them both, but it also brought them closer in a way nothing else could have. "We're home, Emily," Alex said one night as they looked at the stars from their new home's porch. "And nothing will ever separate us again." Emily smiled, holding her father's hand. "I know, Daddy. Thank you for never giving up on me." As the stars shone in the sky, Alex felt a deep gratitude. They had faced the unknown and emerged stronger and more united. And now, finally, they were home. Time passed, and Alex and Emily's lives began to stabilize. The trauma of the abduction and the perilous journey was slowly fading, replaced by a peaceful and safe routine. Alex returned to his job as a computer technician, but now with a new purpose. He used his skills to help develop technologies that could prevent future abductions and improve global security. His experience had made him a respected figure in the scientific community, and he was often invited to speak about his adventure and the lessons learned. Emily, for her part, readjusted to school and friends. Although she still had occasional nightmares about the aliens, therapy and her father's support helped her overcome the fears. She excelled as a bright student, especially interested in science, inspired by what her father had done to rescue her. Dr. Reyes remained an important part of their lives. She frequently visited Alex and Emily, and together, they worked on new research projects. Their friendship and partnership grew stronger, based on mutual respect and shared experiences. Alex and Emily's story became a symbol of courage and determination. News reports and documentaries detailed the extraordinary journey, highlighting how an unlikely hero had faced and overcome unimaginable challenges. This inspired many people around the world, showing that true strength can come from unexpected places. On a quiet night, Alex and Emily were again on the porch of their home, looking at the stars. "Remember that bright star we saw that night?" Emily asked, looking at the sky. Alex smiled, hugging her. "Yes, I remember. And despite everything, that star brought us back home, stronger than ever." As they continued to watch the starry sky, Alex felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. Life went on, and he knew that, regardless of what the future brought, he and Emily would face it together, ready for any challenge.